Hello and welcome to the Science Fiction Rating System, the podcast that aims to rank every science fiction film from 1 to infinity. Said that in the style of Kirk there a bit. Unintentional. This week is the preview week. We look at 3 films we'll rank next week, but for now, let me introduce my co-hosts. I'm Sam Draper and joined by Chris Redding.
Hello.
And Alex Humphrey.
Hello. I was thinking about this because it's all... it's too early for beers. Because it's all Ready Player One, it should be our avatar names rather than our real names.
You can fuck that.
That's pretty much... Okay, any listeners, this is pretty much how it's going to go if we mention Ready Player One at any point.
Ready Player One up your arse. So this week we are celebrating Ready Player One by, as I said last week, by doing as much research as the talentless hack who wrote it. I forgot his name. What's his name? Probably something like John DeLorean or something, isn't it? Hilarious. I've changed the name to DeLorean because Back to the Future is a film from the 80s. Yeah, we get it, mate.
He designed the car, John DeLorean.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
His name isn't that.
What is his name? I forgot his name.
I don't know his name.
I'm looking up his name so I can call him out on... Ernest Kline.
Ernest Kline.
So yeah, Ernest Kline wrote a book, or instead just sat on his big fat what's-it-covered fingered arse.
Sam's views do not...
Yeah.
He watched a lot of films from the 80s and went, oh, that's a good idea, make a film where I reference all these other films. And he did that, and it's terrible, and probably the worst book I've ever read.
It's tell the story. What happened when you finished the book, Sam?
I threw it straight in the bin. Like, literally threw it in the bin.
Last page, close.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating for me because I wanted to read it. If I'd known, I would have come round your house and got it out your bin. I had to buy mine. I had to buy my copy, and I enjoyed it, Ernest Kline. So I thought it was
my God, you're
fast
mad.
food. It is fast food. It's trashy, but it was entertaining trash, and I
threw it in the bin, and it wasn't even mine. It was one I borrowed from the library.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just going to shops now, just throwing it off the shelves. Yeah, anyway, so Steven Spielberg, who has also been sort of creatively moribund since the mid-aughts, thought, that's a good idea for a story. It's not. It's terrible. And he, even though, despite like it sort of being weird, because a lot of the film references things he made, or the books did.
Yeah.
So, you know, if there's any like case of a director jumping the shark, it's Spielberg, I don't know, jumping the moon like E.T. in one of his other terrible films. Because no doubt E.T.'s in this, because every fucking idiot's in it, because...
E.T.'s great.
Let's all circle jerk over Hollywood and terribleness. But one good thing to come out of this is that we get to watch 3 kids' films from the 80s.
Yeah.
And forget all about Ready Player One for a bit.
One of which features prominently in the book, one of the films we're watching, doesn't it?
Yeah. They all feature in it. Everything features in it.
But Wargames is more...
Wargames is in a lot, yeah.
More important.
You just steal for that more than a lot of other things, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got 3 films to watch, and we've got a bit of science fiction news, which is a first for us. Because we're going to do quiz and news alternating from now on. So I'll start with a bit of news before we get into trailer, because we've got 3 bits of news. And it's the news that...
Bong!
that on November the 15th, 2019, hitting cinemas, will be a live action Sonic the Hedgehog film. Have you heard about this?
No.
Right, so...
What?
Yeah. Paramount have optioned Sonic the Hedgehog, but not only optioned it, have basically said it's coming out next year in November. Being produced by the director of Deadpool, Tim Miller.
Okay.
Directed by Jeff Fowler, who's not previously directed anything before. But the most interesting thing for me was that it's live action mixed with CGI. I don't know. And so what I want to know from you two is, if you were cast in this film, who would you pick as a live action Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh, God.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, that's a good shout, yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Because he's a good actor, and he's quite small.
I'd have Bieber as Tails.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good
That'd
one.
work. That's a good, yeah.
And Vin Diesel as Knuckles.
Yeah.
I thought
Dan DeVito make a good Doctor Robotnik, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. You need someone with a powerful moustache. Maybe bring back Tom Selleck. Get,
Oh, yeah, that'd work as well, yeah. I also thought for Sonic, like Michael Shannon, You seen that film where Michael Shannon's a hitman? And like he just looks very grey faced and gravelly, but imagine that with like like a blue Mohican on it. Like a really like sort of pissed off Sonic.
That's really weird. That's so weird.
Yeah.
There's a really good Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon on Netflix, which my son Logan, who's 3, is obsessed with, which we watch all the time. But it's actually quite well done. It's quite good. So yeah.
What, good for a 3-year-old or good for an adult?
No, good for everyone. Sonic Boom, I think it's called. And yeah, it's got a lot of kind of references in it that are a bit more. It's good for a 3-year-old, but it's also got a lot of references in it that are a bit more, a bit more nuanced.
Have you seen Pixels?
No.
No. Are we going to review that at some point?
We'll have to, won't we, I think?
Yeah, I think we will.
I've seen, what's the one, the Pixar one with...
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
That's got a bit of Ready Player One about it. No.
The bit at the beginning where you see all the other characters and stuff is good, but yeah, generally... No. What's Pixels like, Chris?
Weird. It's very strange.
Adam Sandler, isn't it? Is that right? Pixels?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's basically the cast of some other terrible film that he's in, but just brought onto this film.
Yeah.
Is it called Grown Ups or something?
Oh, right, yes, that's a film, yeah.
Plus the guy out of Game of Thrones, Dinklage.
Oh.
Peter Dinklage, yes.
Yeah.
Who is quite good in 3 billboards of Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Have you seen that?
No, I've not seen that yet.
No, I heard it's very good, though.
But
it's all right.
Is he a protagonist or an antagonist?
He is like... he wants to date Frances McDormand's character. He's like like a bit player in it. He's got quite a big part towards the end, but it's one of the few things I've seen him in where he's not just playing a dwarf. He's playing an actual character.
See, in Pixels, that's what he's playing.
Yeah,
they really just give him a circus part, which is rubbish.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
yeah, so we've got that to look forward to.
That is crazy news.
Yeah, ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Live action Sonic. It'll be a lot of those sort of shots where they like blow a wind machine past people. It'll be so fast, and you'll see like papers fly around, don't you, and stuff like that.
Oh God, I can't even.
So let's speed on to our first film of the day, which is Tron. And I'm doing Tron and I, is that right? Yes, I'm doing Tron. So everyone's seen Tron, obviously. We all seen Tron?
Yeah.
Chris?
A long time ago.
Oh. So Tron is the story of Kevin Flynn, who is a software engineer, a former software engineer who has all his ideas ripped off and stolen by I forgot his name. Someone at this
Bill
company
Gates.
anyway.
Evil McBusinessman.
Yeah, Evil McBusinessman, there you go. And so he's gone to work in an arcade. But as you do, yeah, because he loves games. But it turns out that his programs are too clever and they're taking over not only the company but the world, maybe. And so he has to venture inside the machine to combat the menacing MCP, Master Control Program. Is it stand for?
Mirroring some of the techno paranoia of the age.
Yes, and also mirroring of the age, a very basic understanding of what a computer is and how it works.
I mean, yeah.
So let's watch the trailer for Tron, shall we?
The computer, an extension of the human intellect. The NCOM 511, center of the most calculating intelligence on Earth. Programmed by Master Control to survive by all means. Soon, the ultimate tool will become the ultimate enemy.
My friends have actually got a little VHS TV combi and this tape, so I might watch it in its original
Nice.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
format.
You should.
Tracking lines and all. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Last time I watched this was about the time when the sequel came out. So what's that, 2010, 11 is it? 2010, I think. And I remember thinking it wasn't very good. Poor. But I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah.
It's at least a unique visual style, isn't it? Well, it was unique at the time. It's ripped off endlessly, hasn't it, since? But
yeah, exactly. It's weird to watch it Yeah, when
Yes.
yeah. It's weird to watch it now, knowing all the references to it and all the people who have kind of taken
Totally.
from it. So.
Have you both seen Tron Legacy?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
I quite enjoyed that as well.
Stunning. I thought the music was cool. I think it was like they did everything right off the back of this one.
Yeah.
I
agree.
It's a better film than Tron, I think.
But there are a lot of like the basic like designs of things they haven't changed from this one, and you just think at the minds that went into this first one, they did things which haven't been surpassed.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as how things are designed and the life cycles and the big flying things and all that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Right. A little bit more news.
What could you possibly say next that is as weird as that first bit of news?
Well, this is more about recent releases. So, did anybody watch the Cloverfield Paradox that released onto Netflix?
Yes.
No, I didn't see it.
What did you think, Chris?
Garbage. But I think what it was was a film which didn't turn out very well, so they just like went quits and just sold it to Netflix and got their money back and wiped their hands of it, right?
Well, it's bizarre because, I mean, the whole thing about Cloverfield is this. If you remember the Cloverfield 2, whatever that was called, that had a weird release cycle, didn't it? Where they didn't let on it was a Cloverfield film.
Oh, yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane
That's it,
or something. Yeah.
And they sort of kept that hidden until it came out and they were like, oh, shit, it's a Cloverfield. It was called something else, wasn't it, in production? And obviously this one, people don't know, there's an advert for it during the Super Bowl and then it just popped up on Netflix. And it's moved the story to space, unfortunately, so it means you have to watch it definitely. Although I guess Cloverfield's sci-fi anyway, isn't it? And I got about half an hour in and had to turn it off because it was fucking dreadful. Did you watch it all, Chris? Did you go all the way through?
I have to admit, I did a bit of scrolling in the middle.
Did you?
Wow.
Really bad. And talking of Netflix, has anyone seen Mute yet? Which is the new Duncan Jones film that also released onto Netflix recently.
No, I haven't seen. And isn't the new Alex Garland film coming exclusively
Annihilation? That's got really good reviews though. That has.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's like they're just taking in all the sci-fi basically. Then are they? Or
they're throwing a lot of money around. Aren't they?
I think with the Cloverfield one, it's turned out a dog. And they just literally offloaded it because they thought they're not going to make the money back in the theatres.
Okay, that's interesting.
There's no risk with Netflix because you just sell it, you get the cash, and you piss off and go make another one.
Yeah.
Good idea, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan Jones' film's more a tragic tale because he's been trying to make it for like 10 years, I think. And I've watched about half an hour of this one, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But I want to finish watching it because I've heard that it's actually a sequel to Moon. You heard that? I don't know if this is spoilers, but all the Moon clones are on a TV somewhere in this. Apparently, they're.
God.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
So I want to watch it. But apparently, the reviews look awful again. So strange that these films are coming out and with quite big names.
I have a real disliking for the Cloverfield universe.
I don't.
This J.J. Abrams, it's the same with Lost. They make out like there's intellectualism going on in the story and the writing of it, and there isn't.
No. Yeah, it's just make it up as you go along kind of thing. It's no long-term plan.
Cloverfield is a good marketing campaign, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what Cloverfield... what was his one he did about the one that was like a Spielberg film? That was terrible as well. And that was a good marketing campaign.
Oh, God, what was that called?
Yeah, lacking
Super 8.
the central
Super 8, yeah.
story, right?
Yeah.
Just...
Anyway.
He just wanted a show reel which looked like E.T., and that's he just got a few shots which looked like nice with flares and E.T. stuff going on. And
well, it worked because he's Star Trek and Star Wars mega bitch now, isn't he? So.
Motherfuckers.
They were tricked. They've all been tricked. The Emperor's New Clothes.
I think his Star Trek that he made was the best he's ever done. I think that's great, that one he made, the first one.
Oh, that's a good film, yeah. I like that film. Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like his Mission Impossible film as well. The one with
oh yeah,
what's his name in? Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, that is a good one.
That's a good film.
That is one of the good ones. Yeah, true.
Right.
Didn't he write?
Oh, sorry.
He wrote wasn't he involved with some Michael Bay stuff? Didn't he write Armageddon or something?
Did he?
I don't know.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams.
I know he's been kicking around a long time.
Yeah, he's got his. He's if you look back at what he's done, he's.
Oh yeah, he wrote Armageddon. You're right. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
He also wrote Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover in. So he's done a lot of shit. Wow. Okay, let's get on to the next film. We're still in the 80s, still watching kids' films. This is The Last Starfighter. One of my favourites as a child, definitely. Who's given us a synopsis for this?
It's me for The Last Starfighter.
Okay.
The 1984 movie The Last Starfighter centres around average American teenager Alex Rogan, who, whilst living in a trailer park with his mother and little brother, becomes obsessed with a particular arcade game called Starfighter. After he gets the top score on the cabinet, Alex discovers he was actually being put to the test, and having proven himself, he is recruited by an alien race to help them in an interstellar war. And I've actually got a Ready Player One nerd fact to go with my synopsis.
Go on then.
A real Last Starfighter arcade game by Atari was promised in the end credits but never released. If released, the game would have been Atari's first 3D polygon arcade game. It would have taken from game scenes and space battle scenes, would have included the same controller that was used in the first Star Wars arcade game. The game was abandoned once Atari representatives saw the film in post-production and decided it was not going to be a financial success. So basically they copped out and wouldn't make the cabinet. But that would have been cool if there'd been a game that you could play.
That would have been really cool, yeah.
That would have been really cool. Like, that's proper marketing. That's like... that's modern marketing. But yeah.
Probably just beyond their capability.
Yeah.
Before we watch the trailer, shall I just tell you the synopsis to Ernest Kline's second book, Armada?
Go for it.
The story follows a teenager who plays an online video game about defending against an alien invasion, only to find out the game is a simulator to prepare him and people around the world for defending an actual alien invasion. So basically, he rewrote Last Starfighter again, which would be less unimpressive if he hadn't just written a whole book about how much he fucking loved The Last Starfighter. And yet people buy this shit.
That's... Okay.
The guy's a fucking hack.
What about Ender's Game?
He just referenced that as well. He references that in the book.
Right. Yeah, that it is kind of like Ender's Game anyway, isn't it? It's all just a rip off of Ender's Game anyway.
Isaiah's notebook is about conspiracy theories involving popular culture films and novels like Ender's Game. He's just regurgitating shit and people are just lapping it up. Fucking hate the man. Right.
Who knew you'd be so angry?
Let's watch the trailer for Last Starfighter, shall we?
Come on, Alex, they're here!
Alex Rogan had a dream.
You really are leaving here, aren't you?
To be as far away from here as possible.
You get your chance. When it comes, you gotta grab it with both hands.
It started with a game.
You gonna bust the record.
But it wasn't just any game.
You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
And then...
So the revelation there was, Alex, you've not seen Last Starfighter.
Yeah, I know.
And Chris, you have seen it, but you don't remember it.
I remember bits of it.
So I watched this an awful lot when I was a child, but I haven't seen it since, and I'm worried it's going to be terrible. But
we'll all find out.
I'm getting blurred with Flight of the Navigator, I think.
No, I've definitely seen that, yeah.
That's another great film. Flight Navigator is a better film, isn't it, I think? But anyway, that's for next time. Right, so, one more bit of news. And this is perhaps the strangest bit of news so far, even stranger than Sonic the Hedgehog being a film.
Okay.
Have any of you heard about the fact that it turns out Donald Trump is a time traveller?
No.
So, this is from the Huffington Post. I think it's from Reddit originally. But basically, someone found a book written in the late 1800s by a guy called Ingersoll Lockwood, a lawyer. A series of books called Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and his wonderful dog Bulger, right? And it's a series of books about a kid called Baron Trump, who, if you don't know, is Donald Trump's son, who is a time traveller and is... where's the quote? Hang on. Baron is a wealthy young man living in a place called Castle Trump, but his real adventures begin when Don, that's right, Don, the master of all masters, inspires him to travel to Russia, where he finds a portal that allows to travel to other lands. Yeah, this was written in like 1896.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Baron Trump might be a time traveller. It gets even weirder, right? Because Lockwood, this is also from Huffington Post, Lockwood also wrote in 1896 a pamphlet called The Last President, which does not feature Baron Trump, but does feature a president. It begins in New York City, which is up in arms over the election of an outsider candidate as president. The news causes those in the upper portion of the city to sit as if paralysed with a nameless dread. Mobs of vast size are organising under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. So basically, this guy appears to have written, like, either Baron Trump has come from the late 1800s, or Trump is just like cosplaying as the last president and living out his fantasies from these books. But how crazy is that?
That's really crazy. He must love that. He must love all that. He just loves all that.
There's too much weird stuff going on with Trump. Like all the Simpsons stuff, which pre-told things.
Yeah. It's weird. It is as though he it's as though like pop culture birthed him. You know, like this is the end result of us.
You know what? The man who fell to Earth. That would explain.
It's happened.
That's true.
His patents.
That's true.
Buildings. He knew what buildings to buy to make the most money because he knew what areas would be. Yeah.
And that's why he's an incompetent businessman, because as soon as he tries anything else, he's an alien and doesn't know what he's doing. But
he knew what Facebook ads to buy.
Yeah, he did. Oh God! Wow. Well, that you managed to beat the Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
Yeah. So check the show notes for the link to Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey, which wow, weird, very weird. But let's get back to the films. One more film left. A classic of the 80s. It's Wargames. Chris, tell us about Wargames.
Matthew Broderick is a high school kid who has skills beyond his age.
Yeah.
In the sense that he can hack into computers. Almost no one could do this at this point. And he nearly starts a nuclear war.
It's pretty much it. Yep.
And nowadays he'd probably be in Guantanamo Bay, rotting, because this is quite serious. And
it doesn't really get much more serious, does it?
Yeah. Back then it was a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No. So we've all seen Wargames?
No, I haven't seen Wargames either.
Wow, Chris?
I know.
I must have.
Well, let's watch the trailer and jog your memory.
David Lightman was a master at computer games. A fast thinker.
Oh, David! Maybe you could tell us who first suggested the idea of reproduction without sex.
Your wife?
Get out, Lightman.
And a promising student at an old game.
Hi.
With an electronic twist.
Are those your grades?
Yeah. I don't think that I deserved an F. Do you?
You can go to jail for that.
Only if you're over 18.
It's funny how last week we saw 3 trailers that sort of lied about what the films were, and this week 3 trailers that just tell you the entire plot of the whole film.
Yeah, there you go. How marketing has changed.
Do you remember it? Do you remember it now, Chris? Oh God,
I don't think I've seen it.
You know?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Dr. Strangelove when I was watching it.
Have either of you played the game called DEF CON?
No.
Yes. Great.
It's basically this as a game. It's incredible. Anyone at home who fancies playing a little strategy game where you're playing the computer screens from Wargames.
It's great.
It's a wonderful game. Yeah. It is called DEF CON, isn't it? That's right.
DEF CON.
Yeah. Yes, so cool. 3 kids' films from the 80s to watch. I am really looking forward to this week.
Yeah.
Right in my wheelhouse. And then we can all go away and write our own Ready Player ones. I'm going to call mine Ready Player 2, because that's original.
You should. You should write about a guy who writes a book about popular culture and how he becomes really popular.
Have either you seen
Player number 2, that would be better.
Ready Player number 2, yeah. Have either you seen the documentary about them digging up the ET cartridges?
No, I've heard about that. I've read about stuff with that, though, yeah.
It's not a great film. Basically, it's about them, because they famously buried a load of Atari ET cartridges, and they go and dig them up. And this twat, Ernest Kline, is in the film because he's like going to the landfill to watch them dig it up. And the film spends too much time basically just following him around, wearing his stupid Back to the Future jacket, driving DeLorean, going just basically like, popping out pop culture references here and there and saying I'm the biggest geek in the universe, all this sort of stuff. And it's just, you just want to throw up. It's disgusting. He's like the embodiment of everything that's wrong with geek culture. Like the whole it makes me upset to like this kind of shit. You know what I mean? It's capable of liking it without wandering around looking like a fucking advert. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sat here in just normal clothes, and I still like this sort of films.
It verges on, which is normally a positive thing, that geek culture gives people their own identity or allows them to express themselves in ways which they wouldn't normally be able to. But this guy should probably not be.
No. It's gone too far into like just, I don't know, self-parody. Anyway, let's move on from the philosophising of geek culture, and no doubt I'll have more to say next week because
I'm sure
I can't
you
help
will.
it. I'm sorry. For now, though, that's the 3 films to watch. Go away and watch them. The trailers will be in the link below, along with stuff about the news talked about. Join us next week for some rankings. Subscribe, like, follow on iTunes. All that good stuff. Is that it? We all done?
Yeah.
I think so.
Brill. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.